Backchat TV. Subscribe.
What's going on, boxing fans? Welcome to Backchat TV. We're going to cover the fight that just happened a little while ago, well, the card that just happened a little while ago. I was looking forward to this one, UFC 292 in Massachusetts. It didn't disappoint. You know, personally, I think it didn't disappoint. The main event, obviously, Aljamain Sterling versus Sean O'Malley, Sugar Shane O'Malley. I knew he was a star in the making. Honestly, I said it in a video I did before the fight. He's a star in the making. He's a sniper. He's a different type of fighter. Sterling hasn't faced anyone who has that kind of footwork, who has that kind of those reflexes, you know, that power and that counter ability that he has. I haven't seen anyone. So I was worried about the fight for Sterling. You know, I am a fan of both. And I said that I wouldn't be surprised at all if O'Malley pulled it off because of how good he is. It's just that I didn't know how good he was because he hasn't had the opposition that Sterling has to become one of the best bantamweights of all time. Sterling has had to face Peter Yan, a very tough fighter. And, you know, obviously we know he had to fight the caliber of fighters like Henry Cejudo and a lot of champions. And I just thought, you know, Sean O'Malley just hasn't done that yet. So, you know, I went against him. My judgment was telling me that Sean O'Malley was going to land something there because he's just too sharp to not land something, you know, and he did. And it was the first meaningful shot he landed. Amazing performance by O'Malley. He is definitely a star in the making. I said it before the fight. Just his personality, you know, he's different, not just visually with the different color hair and the tattoos and things like that, but just something about him. A lot of people say he's got something special about him. His fighting style is something that is definitely going to attract tons of new fans because a lot of fans, especially kind of new fans coming to the sport, they tend to be what we would call casual fans, and casual fans tend to like knockouts, and knockouts mostly come from strikers. So, you know, Conor McGregor, Adesanya, all these guys have risen to the top because of their striking ability, and O'Malley's no different. You know, he's an amazing striker, so he's going to get a ton of fans. And like I said, a new star is born, man. Onto the actual knockout. It was a TKO, really, but even so, I feel like Sterling just overcommitted. He overextended himself, and he kind of saw the shot because if you slow the shot down, he actually like closed his eyes as the shot was coming. He saw it at the last minute. In the post-fight interview with Aljamain Sterling, I feel like he said the right thing in the post-fight conference when he was saying a lot of positive things about Sean O'Malley being a good fighter, a great fighter, and that if you want greatness, you have to put yourself in the line of fire. I thought that was a real champion. I don't know why so many people boo him and dislike him. I think it's because of the Peter Yan first fight issue. But apart from that, I think he's been a really good champion. And when he lost, he was very gracious in defeat. He also said a lot of things which I agree with. He didn't make any obvious excuses. He said that he would have liked to have training partners who could properly mimic someone like Sean O'Malley, moving side to side. You know, his footwork basically, and he didn't quite get that. And the one thing he was scared of was that, and that's what kind of happened. And I do believe him. I do believe what he's saying. Sean O'Malley is a really good striker. You know, you can't just come forward and pressure him, or he doesn't fight like that. You know, he's always looking at you. He's always waiting to find that opportunity to counter, and those people are very dangerous. Conor McGregor the same. These people are very dangerous, and that's exactly what can happen, a knockout like this. So an amazing fight. Now, one thing I was happy about was Sterling said he wants to run it back. Does he deserve an immediate rematch? Now, a lot of people might say he doesn't, but I think he does. I really think he does, because he's been a champion for a long time. You know, one of the best bantamweights. He's beaten some of the best contenders so far. In the post-fight conference, he said he was fine. He didn't seem out of it at all. He didn't seem like he was out of it. He took a good shot and he was down and he was defending himself on the ground. I think it's when he rolled over, obviously, that's when the referee stopped it. I think the referee did a good job because he was going to take hard shots from that position. So I think the stoppage was correct, but he wasn't out of it. And because of that, I think he deserves an immediate rematch. And I think that's probably one of the biggest fights, a rematch. I really do. I would like to see a rematch. I think it may go the same way, but I still think that it's kind of warranted because of how well Sterling has performed so far. I still think it would be a big fight. I think that Sterling this time, instead of trying to be a more exciting fighter because of the crowds, he would stay on the outside and be a lot more cautious, and it might be a more boring fight. But I think it's more likely that would happen. 100% Sterling would not go rushing in a rematch. I think it would go longer. I think Sean O'Malley would have to try and come in and make it a fight, and if he wasn't prepared to, the fight might end up being boring because Sterling definitely is not going to commit after what happened. And Sean O'Malley would have to go and find him in a rematch, and that would make the fight either more exciting or more boring. I don't know which one, but I definitely see a second fight going very differently. As in Sterling moving around, not wanting to commit, making it more difficult for O'Malley. So there's a lot of different kind of nuances that could happen in a rematch, which is why I think it's warranted. Great fight, really enjoyed it. On to the next fight, Zhang Weili against Amanda Lemos. I got that wrong. I didn't think that would happen. I'm a big fan of Weili, really big fan of her, but when I watch Lemos, she is a sniper also, just like O'Malley. She finds these little gaps, lands right hands. She's strong. It wasn't really her strength that I was thinking of. It was her countering ability. That I thought that Weili kind of has a tendency to throw a lot of shots and leave opportunities when she's doing that. She also tends to extend a little bit too much when she's transitioning to grappling. And someone like Lemos, I saw her catching Weili with a counter shot, definitely, and it didn't happen. I was quite shocked. I got that totally wrong. It didn't happen. Weili's hard work, pressure. She was smart when she was transitioning, and she was much stronger. And yeah, she's really growing into her strengths now. She's very difficult to beat because she's got that experience now that she's been knocked out before. She doesn't quite rush in like she used to. She's much smarter when she transitions. Her defense has got a lot better, and obviously she has that speed, that power, and it's really hard to beat. I thought Lemos and Weili would be a lot more competitive than it was. So great win for Weili. She's a great champion. She's going to be very difficult to beat. Very surprised about that. Going swiftly on to Chris Weidman. Now, I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this fight because, first of all, I'm extremely happy to see Chris Weidman get back. He is an example of determination, pure determination. The injury that he suffered from is a career-ending injury. Nobody should come back in the octagon after that, and he did it. He's a winner. In my eyes, he's a winner before he even stepped in the cage. So, I was very happy to see him back. I thought he gave an amazing performance. He was a bit tentative because of the leg kick. He actually said something that was quite funny. In a post-fight interview, he said, "I can't believe that Tavares kicked my injury leg, my surgery leg. Like, what a bastard," he said. I thought that was hilarious. He said, Tavares seems like such a nice guy, But there's no friends in the octagon. Surgery or no surgery, Tavares came there to win. And that's exactly what he did at any means. But yeah, Weidman, man, he's a role model. Honestly, he's a role model. Don't ever give up. It's never over. Do everything you can to improve, and just don't give up. He is an example of pure determination. So congratulations to him for just getting back in the ring. And another thing, he said he's not done. He had a lot of ring rust. Obviously, the surgery. He wasn't supposed to win tonight, to be honest. I think the fact that he was very grateful to get back was something that's amazing. That's gonna, have him in good stead for going forward. That mindset. And sometimes it's good when you lose. It sounds ridiculous, but you can kind of take your mind off, that kind of like protecting your O and trying to always win, and you can just concentrate on fighting. Once you've lost a few times, like Weidman has, he can now concentrate on having a good performance, improving, getting stronger, adding new techniques, getting a little bit more confident on the leg. You know what I mean? And that could see him do amazing things in the sport. So, surprisingly, I'm not one of these people that want to see Weidman retire. I'm not. I don't think that giving up is something that you should do. And he's an example of that. I think he should just concentrate on getting better. Now he's got the ring rust off, first fight in I don't know how long since the injury. He can go on to better things, So yeah, very good fight. Ian Garry, another star is born. Ian Garry, another fight that I got wrong. I got the whole card wrong, but it doesn't matter. Let's just concentrate on the good, positive things. Ian Garry, really, he didn't surprise me. I did say that I wouldn't be surprised if he won. Up and coming star, amazing striker. Again, this is the year of the strikers. I think UFC in general is going to get a lot more popular because of strikers. Because, to be honest, people don't want to see people rolling around on the octagon floor. Or being tentative on the outside and trying to win some decision. People don't really want to see that. So the fact that we're getting so many more strikers, we're getting so many more exciting knockouts, the sport should grow. O'Malley, Ian Garry, Adesanya when he comes back. I mean, that style of fighting is just inherently exciting, no matter who they're fighting, because it will end most of the time in a knockout. So I like the fact that we have another striker in Ian Garry. Neil Magny, he fought terrible. He was tentative. As soon as he got hit by hard shots, Ian Garry, to his credit, was throwing very hard shots, not just the leg attack, relentless leg attack. He attacked both legs with very hard strikes. But Magny, he was very disappointing, to be honest. He didn't try to win. As soon as he came up against adversity, as soon as he realised that Ian Garry is young, stronger than he thought, smart, throwing hard shots, he wasn't trying. He didn't want to know anymore. He just looked as if he wanted to get out of there. He didn't try to win. He was flinching all the time. He was like squirming every time he got hit, or even when he got threatened with being hit. There was opportunities where he came forward and he could have, gone for a takedown, or he could have done something, and he didn't even try. He was just trying to survive, and I don't really like that. I know obviously I'm on the outside, I'm not in the cage, but at the end of the day, I don't like somebody who, the minute they come up against adversity, they just trying to get their paycheck and get out of here. That's what it seemed like. I mean, there's a lot of fighters in there that are getting beaten from pillar to post, and they never stop trying. There's a lot of fighters like that. There's a lot of fighters who get knocked out and they want to continue. The ref has to kind of save them. This is what people really want to see, like warriors, people who keep fighting. Cody Garbrandt is a kind of a fighter like that. He could be getting beaten. He's never going to stop trying. And that is something that, casual fans especially, but most people, they really want to see that. And we definitely didn't see that from Neil Magny at all. Don't want to see him fight again, to be honest. Don't want to see him fight again. I want someone to put up a fight. I don't want someone to give in as soon as it gets difficult. So not interested in seeing him again. I am very interested in seeing Ian Garry. He looked amazing. In the octagon, out of the octagon. The things that he said in the post-fight, in the pre-fight, he believed it from the beginning and he made it happen. So he's definitely a star. All in all, I would say UFC 292 was a success. Some really good fights. A lot of the fights went the distance, but there were still good fights. The main event, obviously, mainly carried the whole card, but the other fights were good also. The fights are quite fresh at the moment for me. I've only just watched them once, literally just giving my reaction to what happened. So I'd have to watch it again to give a more in-depth analysis of what happened. But personally, I enjoyed all the fights. I got them all wrong. Like I said, I went for Amanda Lemos, who lost against the better woman at the time. I went for Sterling because of experience, and obviously O'Malley now I'm a fan. Always was a fan, but I'm even more of a fan now. Ian Gary, he's on my radar now. We'll be watching out for him. And I'm watching out for Chris Weidman's return. I think he's only going to return better, to be honest. But congratulations to Brad Tavares as well. That was a great win against a veteran. And yeah, he can do some great things in the sport as well. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Did you do any better than me when it came to predictions? I got one right. I predicted that Brad Tavares would beat Chris Weidman, so I got that right. But let me know your overall thoughts of UFC 292. What did you think of it? Did you think the fight would go the way it did? I'm on to the next one. Once again, guys, if you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and please leave comments. I love hearing what everyone's got to say. Thank you.